Okay, today's tutorial we have a GMC Sierra. This is a 2009 and we are going to install some aftermarket mirrors on it. The mirrors that we're going to use are made by CoolView. I'll show them to you. This is the box right here. Original equipment style replacement mirror. Now when you unbox it, this is what the mirror looks like. It's got the little turn signal indicator right there. And if you look at the back, it's going to come open like that. And I guess the reason they do that is it gives you two different covers, two options. So you can go with the gloss, or you could just go with this matte finish here. And also underneath of the mirror here, you can see it's got a cool little light, which should illuminate the ground. We're going to see if these this wiring here is actually going to fit into the factory wiring or not. Tools you're going to need for the job: I would get yourself a little pick. Or a little flathead screwdriver, a trim tool for popping that door panel off, 10 millimeter, that's going to be primarily all of your nuts and bolts on there. And you might not need this, but a magnet. Some of those bolts are a little recessed in there, so once they're loose you can stick this in there and pull the bolts or the nuts out. This is what the mirror looks like that we're taking off. You can see that's the stock factory mirror there. Nothing really fancy about it. This one's cracked. Doesn't have the turn signal indicator on it. So let's get into it. We're going to see if CoolView will give this truck a cool view. I know that was kind of corny, but let's get into it. We are in the driver's side here, and we'll just start pulling some things off. So the first thing you're going to have is your little door knob here. And if you look, there's like a little indentation in there. So that's where your pick's going to come in. And we're going to stick our pick in there. Let's kind of push out on that little tab there, and you should be able to pull that right up. And while you got your pick out, you have this little piece here, this little trim piece. You can stick it either in the top here if you're worried about tearing up your interior or whatever. There's also a little groove on the bottom down here. You see this tab? And we can stick it in there, and there we go. That should just pull that right off, just like that. In the door here, you're going to have two 10 millimeter bolts. You want to take them out, one on the top, one on the bottom. Once those are loosened up, you can just pull this forward, just like that. And we'll keep going with the pick here. Your little handle here. If you come underneath, you're going to see another little door here, which you can pry this underneath your pick. Just pops that right off, and you got two 10 millimeter bolts right in there. And once you loosen them, this is where you're going to want your magnet, because the bolts are going to drop down into the well in there, and just kind of pull them bolts out. Alright, those bolts are out, so you want to come down again where your other handle is here, and you're going to have another compartment right underneath. So take your pick and put it in there, and just you're gonna pull that right off, just like that. And there's another 10 millimeter there. So what you want to do is you want to pull up on this so you can get your ratchet drive in there to take that out. All right, next we're gonna come up here to this little cover here, and some of these you may be able to pull off by hand. Just from past experience, the little tabs under here are really cheesy and brittle. So you want to be careful because they do break. But I'm going to use my trim tool here. Kind of pry this up a little bit. Be really careful with the paint. And once you get it up a little bit, you should be able to just pull it off. Just like that. And under here you're going to see some foam. This basically is there just to keep the cool air from entering the truck. And underneath of that foam, you're going to have one, and there's two more down there. Alright, we'll get to those bottom two after we pull this door panel off. The top one you could actually get to now, but we'll just wait. Now what you want to do is take your trim tool, or if you have a flathead screwdriver, be careful of the paint and stuff. And you're going to go around the door. You could preferably start at the bottom. You can't really see this here. Start at the bottom here. And hard to do with one hand. Stick in there. There you go. And just start working your way up. they will slowly start popping out of there. And just work your way around the whole door. Now, once you have a lot of it popped out, you should be able to start going around with your fingers and pulling it out. Alright, now we have all of them loosened up pretty much. Last thing we're going to do is take this little door switch panel off of here. We're going to lift this up and disconnect the wires first. And basically with this, you can just take your trim tool, kind of stick it in there, and then turn it to the left. See that? Or to the right, whatever. And just kind of start popping that up there. Just like that. And then the rest you should be able to get with your hand once you get to a certain point. Just like that. Pulls that right up. And we're going to go ahead and unplug all these wires. With the different clips here, they all pretty much come out a different way. So you got this one here that's like shaped like this, right? And if you look on the back, there's that little clip on the back. Let me get my pick here. So you want to stick your pick in the back there and kind of pry that. See that? I'm prying that little clip up. It's hard with one hand. And you need to push. Ah, there we go. Just push up. There's the little clip. This one, spin this around. See, it's got that little tab right there that you push on. So you want to push on that. There you go. Pulls right up, okay? Now moving to the next one, we got a little tab in the front here, you can see. Alright, that's our next one in. We're going to push down on that tab and pull. Come on. There it goes. Alright. That's the little tab right there we're pushing down on. This last one you can see where it's clipped in there, the white part. You need to push in on that with your thumb and pull. Alright, it's out. Let me explain to you what I did. I took the pick, I stuck it in there and pushed down on it, and with my other hand I was able to pull it right up. Alright, and that pretty much removes your door switch panel there. Alright, now there's going to be one wire here that's, you can see that little clip that's holding it to the door. And if you look at the front of it, you can see the, what is that, gray or chrome? You want to get your pick under that and pull up. Alright, I had to loosen it first because I needed two hands. But now that, once you pry up on that, you'll be able to slide that right out of the track just like that. Now take all your wires, stick them down in there because we're going to try to pull this door off now. You got the door handle cable there still suspending this. So I don't need to take the door handle cable off to finish the mirror job I'm doing here. So you want to put something underneath of this door so it's not just hanging in the air by that cable. Alright, I got my door resting on a box down there. And you're going to have, you got your wiring coming from the mirror. And you're going to have this white guard on here, this felt type of stuff, and there's going to be like a tacky glue behind it. Unfortunately, you're going to have to pull that glue up, and you can get some more adhesive to seal this again when you're done. But this wire is actually going to be, has little push pins in there, you can see. You can get your trim tool, stick it in there, and just kind of pry that pin out like that. Alright, and then coming down more, you can see it's going to go through the felt here. And here's your wire. Alright, so on here, there's going to be a little clip. See that I'm pushing on? You want to push on that, and you should be able to pull that wire out of there. Alright guys, once I get more subscribers and viewers, I'll be able to hire a cameraman. Alright, so that just pulled out real easy when I pushed down on that tab. That wire's out, and we can feed it through here now. So this way, when we take our mirror off, it's not all tied up in here, and we can just feed it right out the door there. So now our wire is free, so when we take the mirror out, we can pull the wire right through. We can go ahead with our 10mm and take off these 3 bolts. Now, when you're taking these 3 off, when you get down to the last one, make sure you got a hand on the mirror, because that mirror is going to pretty much collapse on the ground. All right, I got the bottom 2 bolts out. So now we're gonna do this top bolt, and we gotta hold the mirror with one hand as we take the top bolt out. All right, our top bolt is out. So we'll just shimmy this just a little bit, just to get this started to come out. There it goes. A little bit of force. All right, now you can just hold it with one hand and kind of pull your wire through, and your mirror's out. Now I got the new mirror. I'm holding it with one hand, and with the other, we are gonna fish our wire back through that hole there. Pull it on through all the way, and we're gonna line up our mirror so there's bolt holes. And try to get at least one of these nuts back on there before you let go of the mirror on the other side. Alright, and you can free your hand up. And now we can put the other nuts back on. Our nuts are back on there. So when you're tightening these, make sure you don't just tighten one all the way down first. You have to do these equally, or you're going to end up breaking the mirror, or it's going to go on crooked and not installed properly. So I would turn these till, you know, it gets a little bit close to being tight, but not really tight. Turn the other one a little bit, not too tight, and then turn the other one and just rotate around, kind of like how you would do when you're putting a tire on lug nuts on a car. Don't just tighten one all the way down first, because then what's going to happen is the mirror is not going to seat right out there. Tighten them all equally, keep going around, and you'll see the mirror start taking shape and pulling in. After you got the mirror all tightened up on your wiring, you'll see that it did come with new pins. So you're going to push those pins back into the holes that we took them out of originally. You're going to run your wire back through the door here. Alright, now we come to the 2 connectors that were on the mirror. And this first one, I know definitely goes to, this is the one we, when we pulled the felt back, when we pulled this one out. So I know that that black one actually is going to go in there. So we'll just click that one in, get it out of the way. There we go, fit right in, nice and snug. And now we have this last one here, this white one, that we got to identify where it goes. I believe that goes towards, if you have a model that has like the memory on it, where your seats and everything repositions when you get in, you're going to have to hardwire that in. That's an avenue of something I haven't done on these mirrors. We'd have to do a separate video on that if we get to that. The black wire that goes into, that we did plug back in, that actually illuminates the turn signal. Okay, I didn't think it was gonna. I thought that was just going to adjust the mirror back and forth, and that the white wire was going to activate the turn signals. But the black wire does fit back into the factory door panels here with the switches on it, and it will illuminate the light. So let's take a look at that. All right, truck is on. Put the turn signal on, and there you go. It's a pretty cool little upgrade on the mirrors, because you can always see, if you're on the side of somebody where you're in their blind spot and you don't actually see their turn signal from behind them, if you're on the side of them, you actually can see the turn signal in the mirror, which is kind of cool. We got our caps. We want to cap the back of the mirror here. As you can see, this is the way it came in the packaging. So basically we're going to set this up on there, and these just kind of click on there like that. Alright, you can see it gives it a nice little glossy finish, or you can go with the other ones that came with it, which match this, the matte finish. But this truck has the rain guards on it, which kind of match this, so I figured that's the best way to go. Let's put that one on. So that's what it looks like when it's on. Now, pretty much, we can really turn that door and just retrace our steps and put everything back on. That's going to include the install for today. And just retrace your steps. You know, play the video back if you have to. But retrace your steps, put everything back on. Just be really careful. A lot of these door trims and panels, they're made so cheap that those everything tends to break. So be real gentle when you're putting everything back together. All right, and especially on the doors when you're cranking those bolts back on, don't over tighten them because they will strip out really easy. All right, guys, please, if you haven't already, it means a lot to me if you can just hit subscribe, take 1 second, subscribe, give me a like. If you have any questions, throw me a comment. I try to get back to everybody within a day or so, sometimes immediately. It all depends on if you catch me checking my comments at that moment or not. But all right, I will see you guys next time.